Well, since we all hate women and we all just can't stand seeing women of color in leading roles, I thought it would be amazing to celebrate the biggest MCU bomb in history. Now, key pieces of context here. The MCU is the highest grossing movie franchise of all time, totaling around 32 some odd $billion. So that means basically, it's the biggest movie franchise in the world just by sheer money alone. So anybody directing a movie and putting it out and making it the lowest grossing ever MCU movie is so bad in levels I cannot comprehend. Because the biggest movie franchise in this planet, you would think to yourself as a normal thinking human being, there should be no lowest grossing ever. This is the biggest movie franchise ever. We know the fans came out and supported these movies. The money right there that this franchise has gone throughout the years proves it. But Captain Marvel only made $1 billion because of two various things. Luck. Well, that's how it made $1 billion, actually. A sandwich between Infinity War and Endgame. And it makes only logical sense you'd make a sequel to $1 billion movie. Other than that, the third piece of context no one brings up is no one talks about Captain Marvel good. We're talking about Biden earlier in the stream, right? Because obviously this is going to be out on YouTube. So put factor in. Have you met an actual Captain Marvel enthusiast in your life, like at all? Like just any version of Captain Marvel outside of that bikini long boots one that Cosby used to wear a long time ago. Outside of that version was done by John Cochran. Yeah. Outside of that, well, that's Captain Marvel. No one really cares for it all.
The only real life fans that I've ever met, and there are only very few, have a few key identifiers. Homosexual. They couldn't tell me why they like it. And the only reason they really, really like it is because people like me hate it.
Right. And
most of the time support is because it's just gainsaying anything. Is like, oh, you hate it so much is because you're a terrible person and I feel like a good person for liking what you hate, so therefore I must be a better person than you. It's ridiculous.
Also, another thing to bring up, the reason why you mention context into things is because when someone tries to say some bullshit, if you apply context to it, you're like, wait a minute, what you're saying makes no sense. So the race of people that Disney and their actors and a lot of people that have been talking about them don't like, it's very clear these people are kind of racist to white people. I'm not saying all of them, obviously. The biggest race that went and supported the Marvels? No shit, everyone. White people. White men, actually.
I don't believe it. It has to be lesbians. Trans lesbians, if you ask me. Tons of them.
White men love seeing women of color in prominent roles. Women don't like seeing women of color in prominent roles. It's almost like women just like seeing hot dudes. It's crazy, right? Crazy, right? I mean, Selena's here. Don't you like seeing hot guys in theaters?
What?
You can answer honestly, it's fine.
Yeah, there you go. She loves seeing Jason Momoa get all wet. I do too.
Not a Chippendale show, a movie in a theater.
I could care less about Jason Momoa.
I thought you were fun. Oh my god. Oh
I really
dirty.
That's
I don't find him attractive at all. I really don't get it.
What the?
Ryan,
I love that game.
What'd you say?
I said, okay, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds? I mean, he's funny.
Oh god. So do you like? Do you want to get do you like Michael Clark Duncan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's a great actor. Are we talking?
I was thinking just because he's black. I was saying because he's black.
That's the whole context of the conversation here.
So guys want role models, and women wants guys to have role models that are manly. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And then when you see some of these characters, they're just sissies, and you're and you got a young kid looking at a cat and go, "Well, that ain't my role model. That guy cries like a bitch every 2 seconds." Like, this is why my younger generation grew up watching like hardcore men do hardcore shit and deal with bullshit and overcome it and just go through it. Just work through it. And then now you got dudes just crying every 2 seconds, showing their emotions and being babies. No chick wants to have a guy be a little bitch. Like, none, zero. Even the liberals are like, man, the fuck up. Like, they just want dudes to do like dude shit. And when you see these movies, the guys are a bunch of bitches and the girls are assholes. They're not even like real girls. Real chicks aren't like as much of just. They're just like an example. What was that X-Men women? She's like, oh, it should be X-women. No chick thinks that shit. No chick has that. No chick saying they're going, oh man, I wish the X-Men could be X-women. They don't have that thought in their head. But somehow they put that in a movie, and the girl's supposed to clap like a bunch of sea otters. Like, it makes no sense. Only to liberals it makes sense.
No, it's like that G4 meme. Remember? Talk to him, Frost. Like, they want us to literally just do like that, like talk like that when women are speaking.
I knew that guy was a sissy, by the way, years ago.
Called
it.
So I want to show you guys this.
I'm the
It's been
lesbian
confirmed today. The lowest grossing MCU movie of all time is The Marvels.
Oh,
shocked.
Now,
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
It's coming.
didn't the Monday after its opening
All my
weekend only
action
got
figures.
like $100 a theater?
Oh,
I think
another
someone
key
did the
piece of
math. It's like
context here. Another key piece of context here. This movie had a worse opening weekend and day than The Incredible Hulk. Guys, that came out in 2008. I was in like 8th grade then. That's crazy.
Oh, things The Incredible Hulk was actually a watchable movie. I've seen it twice.
Oh, now there's some key things we need to understand about how movies work now. If movies like this, which are very front loaded, which means they have a very big budget, which means if the word of mouth and the amount of money they're making initially within like 2 weeks does not show any traction, they'll just basically take them out of theaters, because it actually costs studios more money keeping them in the studio, keeping in the theaters now than running it. They basically just lose the money. They basically just might cut their loss, put it on Disney Plus, or sell it to like TV networks. That's how you can make your money back. And by making their money back, they're not making shit. What fucking TV network, even now in the year of 2023, is like, we've really got to be paying for the rights to show the Marvels? No one's doing that. Maybe Lifetime.
ABC, and then you're just paying yourself.
All right. The Marvels ends box office run as lowest grossing MCU movie in history. All right, before I go over the actual article itself, how much you guys want to bet they're going to be putting in some massive cope, massive just blatant cognitive dissonance to basically ignore all the problems? Because people always love talking about everything around the movie, so the actual problem itself, guarantee it's going to happen.
I mean, it's Rebecca Rubin. This woman is notorious. At least if it's the same one I'm thinking of, this woman is notorious for horrible, shitty takes that always places the blame on everybody else, but the actual, content. This is gonna be gloriously painful.
There's nothing heroic about the final box office performance of the Marvels. The superhero sequel is officially the lowest grossing installment in the history of the Marvel Cinematic franchise. Crazy.
But I was told
it only took us 15 years
from a black female director.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
So yeah, this is true. This is it had the biggest opening weekend for a black female director. That is true, but it also is going to be the lowest grossing movie in the biggest franchise of all time.
It's the biggest flop for a black female director. All you're doing is focusing on the wrong fucking number. Idiots.
After 4 weeks on the big screen, the comic book tentpole is running out of steam. No, it ran out of steam within like a day. It didn't really have legs to begin with.
It's generous.
With 80 million tentpole. With 80 million in North America and 197 million dollars globally. That's oh my god, that's pathetic. That's so bad.
It couldn't even make back its budget globally. Usually people rely on the global numbers to actually make back the budget and break even at very least. It couldn't even do that. Jeez.
This took in less than The Flash. That's crazy. That's actually insane because The Flash is a piece of shit. Holy
it's expected though. I mean, we had the 3 main characters and they all stunk. Ms. Marvel already stunk. That TV show, that young girl, nobody saw that show, and the show stunk anyway. Like, the clips we saw were bad. And then Monica Rambeau, bro, nobody wanted her to be a thing. Oh, okay, my mistake. Okay.
But let's be honest, The Flash only made money because of Michael Keaton.
Good thing we had one of those around. We'd be considered racist if we did it. Hey, I don't want my black person be in this movie. I need one of those.
Human shield, activate.
Name because of Miles Morales. Like, we can't call her Photon, or that might make Miles feel bad. Since Miles Morales is Miles Morales, Monica Rambeau will just be Monica Rambeau.
That's right. It sounds like Rambo. No. It's Monica Rambeau.
There would typically be optimism that attendance could rebound over the busy holiday season. No, it's not how it works anymore. If word of mouth is not good, movies flop now. Because usually when it happens with these movies with these big budgets, enough people would watch them to the point where it'd be like, hey, you tell your grandma, your stepfather, whoever, that is so good, you need to go watch it. The word of mouth was so bad from this. You can tell everyone basically went. Even the people who did watch it, the very few that did, basically went, nah, nope, save your money, go buy Amaranth's OnlyFans because that's gonna be way more worthwhile than this piece of shit. Her titties are actually pretty big, but I only look at them for research purposes, actually. All right, but Disney apparently doesn't expect that to be the case. Jesus Christ, because it won't be reporting the film's weekend box office results any longer. Oh, Disney, they're not going to report the numbers any longer. Gee, I wonder why. Isn't that kind of racist to the black
Can they
people
do that?
Disney?
Like, are they
Yeah,
legally allowed to do that? That sounds like misleading the shareholders a little bit.
They probably, yeah, that's true.
It is.
The
studio wrote on Sunday in a note to press, with the Marvel's
box
office now winding down, we will stop weekend reporting of international/global grosses on this title. This is just so bad.
Yikes.
This is bad. It's so bad the company went, no more bad press around it. The film isn't leaving theaters just yet, and the $220 million plus budgeted tentpole is expected to play through New Year's. Why? It's just wasting money sitting there in the theaters. It literally is costing them more money keeping it there now than it is to just take it out. Whatever, I guess. However, this memo signals that the Marvels is unexpected to generate notable coinage during the rest of December. Over the weekend, the movie tumbled to 11th place on the box office charts with just $2.4 million in its fourth outing. Wow. All right. What was a thing kids used to do back in the day on the internet? Pay F for respects or something like that? Oh my God. They still do that? Good. This one needs all the fucking paying Fs it can get, actually. The Marvels opened on November 10th with $46 million domestically to land the worst debut in the MCU, the franchise's rare misfire out of the gate. I mean, Ant-Man, The Lost Quantumania, but whatever. Things only got gloomier. Ticket sales cratered by 78% in its sophomore outing to cement another, I'll just say, terrible record, the biggest second weekend drop of the series. With an early end to the theatrical run of the Marvels, 2008's The Incredible Hulk, which had $264 million, not adjusted for inflation, is no longer the lowest grossing entry in the series. This movie got beaten by something that was released in 2008, which was the second movie in the franchise itself. This is like getting accolades backwards.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, good Lord.
What have you learned?
This degree of disappointment is unusual because Marvel is the most commercially successful film franchise of all time, with $29.8 billion globally across 33 films. This doesn't also count for toys, all the merchandising with the franchise itself. That's probably easily going to be in like the 40 billion for adding in all that stuff. Moreover, the passionate MCU fan base has turned out for less embraced entries. This February's Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and I did see that movie sucks, managed to generate $214 million domestically and $476 million worldwide, even though the film was saddled with worse reviews than the Marvels. How did we get here? From like biggest opening weekends like ever to basically lowest weekends ever.
It's obvious. It's easy. It's just Hollywood doesn't want to accept the fact that they have a real problem. They want to put political messages in their movie, thinking that people are gonna watch and go, "Now I'm politically charged because I've seen the Marvels." When people just go to movies to get away from all the bullshit that life is, you would think the people that created like Mental Getaway would keep doing that and make money, but they just don't. They somehow, roughly around the year 2016, they said, "All right. Let's make this shit crazy political. Let's go into overdrive. Just everything.
Trump's arrangement syndrome. That's what happened.
And it just killed them. They got hurt by it. In their mind, they thought people were going to watch movies and go, thank you. I'm going to vote Democrat now. Bro, we just want to watch movies. I'm still voting conservative either way. Like, there's no movie that's going to change that. It's very easy. Like, if you have an opinion on something political, that's cool and whatnot. But when you go see a movie, you don't want to have that reinforced either way. You just want to watch the movie. That's why conservatives don't roll out movies and call it like gun control the movie. No one would want to see it. It would stink. Like, oh man, it's a movie about a guy needing to get his gun permit. Like, it's gonna suck. Nobody cares. Just like
you could make that an interesting story. a competent writer could make something that could be considered a political screed into a decent film, like Lady Ballers. It is a bit of a political. It has some political preaching in it, but it's still pretty funny. It still has some actually funny moments, and it's somehow. I actually had a disagreement with somebody who said it was basically propaganda. It's like, nah, not really, because the difference between Lady Ballers is that there's a moment, and it's not really a spoiler, where the main character, the coach, is taking advantage of these ridiculous situations, sits his daughter down and says, hey, listen, here's what it is to be a woman. Here's what you have to look forward to grow up as, because this is who women are. And yes, it did have its fair share of preaching a little bit, but there's a big difference between doing that and amid some trans jokes, and doing what Disney does, which is, don't be a dick. Sit down, peasants. We're going to tell you what to think. Big difference between the two.
Well, yeah, conservatives have more better sense of humor.
Having an alien lecture him on pronouns.
Oh, God. Now, I can understand that, but the doctor, if that was a real consideration, the doctor would have known that. Been like, oh, wait, yeah, you're right. You're probably not male or female, because this is an interdimensional being. It could be anybody. Mm-hmm. So I think that's an honest question. But the fact that he was reminded to ask that by some troon sitting around a couch in a dress. No, the doctor would have asked that himself. He was intelligent enough that even when he has a chance to virtue signal, they can't give that moment to the doctor. They have to give that moment to the troon sitting on the couch, telling him, how dare you think he's a male? How dare you assume he's a male? Like, the doctor would have known that.
The female doctor would have knew that, not the male one, not the white male one.
That's true. The female doctor would have absolutely thought of that. But see, I'm an ally. I think better than you.
You would have known better.
There was a thing online not long ago that said the left can't meme. The right, conservatives are just more funnier, and the left isn't. So, like, when we make a movie that's done by conservatives, we know, we're smart enough to know, okay, we can't shoehorn horseshit in there because everyone's going to catch it. If we make it funny, that's why South Park, whenever they do conservative stuff, it's funny. When they do liberal stuff, it's funny. They have the idea of, like, we got to make this funny, or it's never going to work. Because the second we take that out, it sucks. And if you're doing an action movie like Marvel, there's no way to do it. There's just no way. And Hollywood thinks they could do it with these movies. And this is a great result of them just failing with it by trying to do it again and again and again.
Oh, I want to make sure I constantly bring this up when we talk about the Marvels. The fans, as you can tell from their box office totals through all these many years of the MCU existing, the fans came and supported. The only people that could tank this was them. They're the ones that tanked their own franchise. Those shitty TV shows, those shitty fucking Phase 4 movies, now Phase 5 movies, and they have no direction of where they want to go. I mean, they're the only people that could tank it. Like, how do you tank a $30 billion franchise? The fans didn't. Fans supported every movie. Every movie.
Put a chicken in Mega Gay.
Oh my God. Okay. Directed by Nia DaCosta, a black woman in America, the action-adventure spotlights a trio of spandexed heroes: Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, Tiana Paris, a monkey, as Monica Rambeau, and Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel, a liquor store owner.
That is not spandex. That's bullshit. None of these characters have not been spandexed since Avengers, since Black Widow has really been the only one who's actually been spandexed. These people haven't been spandexed forever. It's like generic, shapeless, formless, they look frumpy. They're frumpy bodysuits.
Unfuckable broads, if you ask me. God, you show me those three in Black Widow, I'll choose Black Widow and a bullet afterwards. Like, there's no way I'm touching those monsters. They're so unfuckable, dude.
Here's the thing: at least Iman Vellani and Miss Marvel, and by extension Miss Marvel, has a bit of charm because she's not a pretentious dick with a stick up her ass about her representation in the movies. She does not give a shit. And she is actually quite honest with the audience, and she actually has some authenticity. There's some kindness, there's some gratitude there. But what do you see from Brie Larson and Tiana Paris? It's all this is our time for representation. Iman Vellani's like, I'm just happy to be here, guys. Like that sells, that comes through on a character. That's why Miss Marvel has been the least insufferable, because I mean, Monica Rambeau is boring as hell. Brie Larson's obnoxious as hell, and Miss Marvel is actually kind of charming. Not enough to carry the film, but she's actually kind of charming.
No, and everybody's thing is, and regardless of how they feel about the film, which the consensus is it's dog shit, is She's charming. She's likable. We would like to see her in other things later on. Wishing her nothing but the best.
Mm-hmm.
Who are tasked
Do
with
not
saving the universe from forces that seek to destroy it. Reviews were mixed, but a bigger problem is that the Marvels ended up bearing the brunt of the audience's burnout toward this ever-expanding franchise, one that spans the big and small screen. This year alone, Marvel has released 2 other movies and 3 Disney Plus series. All right, I'm gonna have a stroke. Can someone please do an emergency operation on my heart before it bursts, please? So the Marvels, the only reason why people turned it out, even though people turned out for movies in the franchise that were 16, 17, 18, 13, 10. No. This one had to bear the full brunt of audience burnout. How much crack did you
superhero
smoke?
fatigue without saying superhero fatigue?
Civil War is the 16th movie in the MCU, and that took in $1 billion. Do you think people will be burned out by then? The 16th movie in a fucking franchise?
How many Iron Mans we had? How many other superhero movies we had? I mean, it's Spider-Mans. We had so many reboots even were insane. And then we get this, and you think people are going, okay, now we're done? No, it's a lazy excuse. It's such a lazy excuse. Like, everyone's just burnt out. No,
everyone's just burnt out. Yeah.
Bullshit into it and get rid of all and change all the characters you've loved for decades. Oh, but now I guess you're just tired of this.
Iron Man's dead. Thor's demasculated. Hawkeye's weird. He's like a weird, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with that kid. There's no other dude characters. And the chick characters are all just moody bitches. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the next movie. Like, dude, you made a universe and that was amazing. And you just made everyone assholes and got rid of all the characters that other people actually did like as well when they were that weren't assholes. And then you expect people to watch the asshole version. Nobody cares. It's done. Like that's the problem. Like with the whole Deadpool's gonna come out with Deadpool 3, and I bet you it's gonna blow this movie out the water easily. Yep. It's not even gonna be a fair fight
because Ryan Reynolds, he cares about the project. He wouldn't go
Reynolds
back
and Hugh Jackman
if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The Marvels is also the first Marvel film that failed to cross the 100 million mark at the domestic box office. This means the sequel's entire big screen run didn't come close to matching the opening weekend of its predecessor, 2019's Captain Marvel $153 million debut. However, the original adventure with Larson's Carol Danvers had extra momentum because of its prime release between 2 of the biggest movies of all time, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Captain Marvel tapped out with $1.13 billion worldwide.
Also a major factor. What were we doing in 2019? We had the best economy we've seen in a fucking generation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Captain Marvel, the only reason people saw it, let's be real, is because they want to know if it sucked or not, because there was so much controversy behind it. Like, if they made Captain Marvel 2, it would do the same numbers, because we know we ain't getting fucked we got fucked the first time. We're not getting shoehorned in. When the Marvels were coming out, no one freaked out about it, because we all knew it was going to be like Captain Marvel, just a boring Nancy girl fest where like there's no real conflict. That's basically what it is.
Well, also remember the marketing for that. They were very clear that this was they very much implied this is a bridge between Infinity War and Endgame. It wasn't that it was sandwiched to.
Which is such a lie.
The two.
Yeah,
they marketed like there was a link between the two, and there could not have been less of one. Oh, just the fact that we're introducing Captain Marvel.
Dude,
okay, who fucking
even in
cares?
Infinity War, remember Infinity War when Nick
teased,
Fury disappears. Yeah, so and even if you watch Captain Marvel, there's no ties to that to any of the 2 movies. There's really nothing.
At the end, the pager shows up. Okay, that's your link to Endgame.
They strategically marketed it.
That Nick Fury got his eyes scratched out by a kitty cat, and he's a fucking.
That pisses me off so much.
Yeah, they emasculate one of the most masculine, badass characters of that film series.
And we thought that was bad. They made it worse in Secret Wars and in this movie.
Not only to mention, they marketed Captain Marvel as like a must-see. Now, the difference with 2019 compared to now, which is crazy, it's only been like 5-some years, the MCU audience themselves have been, let's just say it's true. Not all of them have turned out for everything because they realize, well, there's so much coming out. You know, have people really watched all the TV shows? Have they really watched every movie? And then you're getting a sequel to a movie no one really liked in the first place. It's like, fuck, you know? the only reason why Captain Marvel made $1 billion, as we know, is because of the things you mentioned earlier. And people were willing to see Captain Marvel at that time because the MCU just had everybody. I mean, it had a Marvel logo on it. It's making a lot of money. They knew that, so they capitalized on it. But does lighting strike twice? It does not. Disney CEO Bob Iger has addressed the movie's poor theatrical performance, suggesting that pandemic-related production restrictions ending up plaguing the final result. He says the Marvels was shot. The Marvels was shot during COVID. Iger recently said there wasn't as much supervision on the set, so to speak, where we have executives that are really looking over what's being done day after day after day. Yeah, more suits telling people what needs to be done. Yeah, more suits is what we need. More executives.
You know what else was shot during
Really?
COVID?
More executives.
Plenty of other movies who made a profit.
He added that the studio's prior streak of $1 billion behemoths has thrown off expectations about the potential of its movies. We got to the point where if a film didn't do $1 billion in the global box office, we were disappointed, Iger said. That's an unbelievably high standard, and I think we have to get more realistic. What the hell? Okay, all right. So now I'll talk about this as well, because people are stupid. Movies grossing $1 billion is actually very much an anomaly. There's only like 53 movies in our movie history that have actually taken a number. Just 53 out of all the movies. The fact that they even thought they're going to get $1 billion, right? So the fact that these people thought they're going to get $1 billion every single time, that's your own fault. No, that's so unrealistic.
One of the big problems with movies as well is a lot of the high-end actors also want a percentage of the movie's revenue. So when the movie makes a certain amount of money, the actors used to be like, just pay me. Now they're like, pay me, but I also want like 2% of revenue. So that's why it gets tacked on. And this, for the actors and their people, it's super smart. But that's why it gets tacked on, and movies have to hit a higher budget now because of that. But it's so unrealistic. But the movies continue to do it, and then some assholes like throwing some political shit in there, they'll eat that up, and then it doesn't, and then the movie flops, and then we have here our current reality.
And what is usually
our current reality is
this? What's usually the common wisdom or the of whatever a movie is, like either like a third or half of it will account between a half and a third will account for your marketing budget of the tacked on to the production budget, because the production budget does not include marketing. It's a whole separate department, but you tack on either a third or between a third and a half, and that's your marketing budget. So this probably had like 150 million in marketing alone. At the very least, 100 million. I had ads. I have had so many ads in the past few, and I haven't seen this many ads for a Marvel movie since like Avengers Endgame. I had yet to see anything, and like not even Black Panther: Wakanda Forever or Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness had anything like this. Just in my own personal experience, it could be different from anybody else, but I saw this thing advertised to hell and back. It was ridiculous.
I'm glad you brought that up, because people gotta understand, when these big blockbuster tentpoles fail, it's even worse. Theaters take a lot of that money themselves. Theaters themselves get their cut. The international theaters get their cut. The marketing you just sacrificed, you're not making that up. It's really bad. Like, they lost more than $100 million. That's being very generous, for being completely honest here. Box office analysts do not believe that superhero fatigue has once and for all plagued the masses. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, $845 million, was a hit over the summer, and Deadpool 3, starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, is expected to be a smash in 2024. But The Marvels is the clearest indication that comic book fans will no longer reliably show up to theaters just because the Marvel logo appears in front of a movie. Disney still has several MCU movies on the horizon, but it may have to retool the future of Earth's Mightiest Heroes. The studio recently postponed Captain America 4, Thunderbolt, Blade to 2025 because of strike-related production delays. That leaves Deadpool 3 as the lone Marvel movie on next year's calendar. Hopefully the Merc with the mouth can save the day in the MCU. I think how about we go back to that? 2 MCU movies a year. How about we go back to that? You know? How about we go back to, I don't know, getting 2 movies a year? Just saying, too much of this stuff has been hurting it. The enthusiasm. I mean, even if people weren't fatigued, just say if you weren't fatigued, That's just too much stuff. 4 TV shows in a year, 4 movies. It's like, bro, that's just too much in general. Like, you definitely would burn people out if you think burnout's a thing. That would burn you out. That's too much.
She shot herself on the foot because notice what she said in the last paragraph. Earth's mightiest heroes. Which of the Earth's mightiest heroes, which of the original Avengers do we have now? Hulk. Everyone else is dead or retired. Everyone else is not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk is the only one we have, and he's the lame version of Hulk. He's not actually Hulk. He's a weird amalgamation. He's a weird combination of Bruce Banner and the Hulk. That's not fun. She-Hulk was the, like, put him in his place time and time again. He's just like, okay, I'll accept whatever you say. But like, we don't have Earth's mightiest heroes anymore. We have cheap knockoffs. We have the Wish.com versions of all of the Avengers films that we grew up, that we like spent the past 10, 13 years watching. I hate that name. Riri Williams as Ironheart, trying to take Tony Stark's place. Good luck with that one. They've been trying to replace Peter Parker with Miles Morales ever since like Tom Holland's first movie. Then we have everyone else is being replaced by a lame diverse woman. It's ridiculous. We don't have Earth's mightiest heroes anymore. They are lame and gay, and we don't want to see them because all the ones that we grew up with, all the ones that we knew, all the ones that we like, they're gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. And the last thing I'll say before we head out, which is Disney and Marvel have no one else to blame but themselves. Oof. Jeez. God. I mean, that's what you get when you tell your audience they're...
I don't know if